really starting to realize that this bodybuilding stuff, winning shows and making money and whatever, being fame and stuff like that is not as important as what some people think it is. I got people telling me, young kids come to me telling me that I'm the reason they started working out, or something even bad happened to them, and I'm their motivation that kept them going through their hard times and stuff. And I'm starting to realize that my purpose here maybe wasn't to be just win a show, be Mr. Olympia, even though those things, of course, it would be great. I mean, everybody wants that stuff, but all this thing, what I'm doing is it's bigger than me. It's about my purpose being here is maybe to motivate people, and some kid that I motivate right now could be Mr. Olympia 10 years from now, 20 years from now could be Mr. Olympia. You know what I mean? And I kind of feel like maybe that's the reason why I came through everything I did, and I'm still here today. This is my purpose in life, is to motivate others and get other people, show them that they can overcome anything, or anything's possible. And I'm proof of it. So. The tour in Tricep, 2008, I believe. Just in the gym, when those things that you got those aches and pains that you don't think that you're gonna go every day, and just keep going and let it go and just keep training hard. And one day it just gave, and I tore half my tricep tendon off the bone. And at the time I didn't know it. I mean, I knew it was in a lot of pain and stuff like that. Went to the doctor, got misdiagnosed, told me that, no, you're okay. You just got like a little muscle tear in your triceps, okay. So I left it alone. Wasn't getting better. Finally got a second opinion about a month later, because I still couldn't train on it. And I was told that it's half torn off, and so I was like, okay, let's take care of it. And I had surgery on it and stuff like that. I definitely wasn't happy with the outcome, but I thought your arms were your best body part. Everybody used to say. So then you feel like you lost a part of yourself. And probably one of the toughest things up to my life at that point was one of the hardest things to deal with. And to get over that. And I lost a lot of weight, wasn't training, and then I decided to just say fuck it, get back on stage. No matter what anybody says, there's a lot of guys that have gone through worse and got up and still done well. So I just got up, started training again, and just got back on stage. So, recovery went well, competed, everything went well, and I was pretty much, everything was going great. Up to one of my heaviest weights, I was in the 270s, looked fairly lean, getting ready for my next contest. Everything was going great. Then one evening coming home from the gym, just driving down a regular street, not like on a highway or anything, just a regular street, and minding my own business, someone coming in the opposite lane of traffic, jumped the medium in the middle of the road, came into oncoming traffic, and I happened to be the lucky person that the guy hit. He got totally T-boned me on my driver's side of my car, and totally crushed in the whole side of my the left side of my car. Car did a couple 360s, landed in the ditch. I was totally awake the whole time. Never went unconscious or anything like that. Kind of just closed my eyes for a second when I got hit, and I remember seeing that. I got hit by an SUV, a Ford Explorer. I just remember seeing that Ford symbol coming right at me, right from my face, and I just remember, sitting there, just not in pain, nothing, just pissed off, like shit, like, you know. And the first thing I looked down, because I thought I'd see bones sticking out my legs and stuff, because I was I was crushed in the car, like I was, you know, 270 pounds, and I was just totally squat and stuff. I couldn't move at all. And you know, the first person on scene, I think, was a tow truck driver. He come up to me, you know, said, "You okay?" I said, yeah, I felt okay. I didn't, you know, wasn't in any pain, but I felt my arm, and I felt it was like I was getting wet or something. I put my hand over. All I could feel was the muscle fibers of my tricep, because the skin was totally ripped off from my left arm. I don't know. I guess it was hanging on the window or something. I don't know where it was. And you know, the ambulance came, fire department. You know, they couldn't get me out of the car, so they had to use the jaws of life to rip the door off just to get me out. And they're all, you know, freaking out, telling me not to move, and I get up, jump out of the car, like thinking I'm okay. And you know, I had to put me on a stretcher, you know, the whole neck strapped to the, you know, thing in the ambulance. Then in the ambulance, I felt okay, but all of a sudden I started feeling like I couldn't breathe, and I was like, what's going on? And I didn't realize at the time that I had a collapsed lung, you know, on top of all that. And got to the hospital, you know, just like you know, just like they're wheeling you down, and you just see the lights going over your head, and I'm just like, this can't be happening. This is like a dream. But you know, when you don't wake up from, and it's just I got there. I remember the first thing I did, they had me in the room, you know, the emergency room. I was there by myself, and I just asked the nurse, said, you know, I got to piss. So she gives me the urinal to piss in. You know, I'm like, you know, having to piss, and I still felt okay. And I looked down, and the thing was just full of blood, like not just blood, pure blood, and I was just freaking out, like, you know, like there's something wrong. They did some tests and stuff, and they found out that my spleen was like almost totally, you know, severed in half, and you know, they said it's being pretty serious. You could die pretty quick from that. So I was in the hospital for about a week. You know, they thought that maybe it was getting better and stuff like that. They were getting ready to send me home. You know, I definitely wasn't feeling good. They did one more test on me late at night, and then like 3 o'clock in the morning, 3 a.m., I had to go in for emergency splenectomy. So I had to have my spleen removed. And you know, all I'm thinking to myself is like, you know, this arm's in a cast, and you know, I don't know what's going on with my arm. I never got to look at it. Getting your spleen taken over, you have this big scar going from your chest down to your belly button. You know, you're thinking that your body, you know, your body's your career and stuff like that, and you're just getting cut up, and things are getting removed, and things are getting stitched back together, and you're like, man, like you're just, it's over. You know what I mean? Like, what are you gonna do after this? Like, what, you know, your training and your bodybuilding is your life, and you know, you're here right now. Doctors telling you that you'll never be able to train again. You know, telling you that you know, you're gonna have to do something else with your life, because bodybuilding's out of question, weightlifting's out of question. And you know, I remember being on that surgery table, and they're strapping my arms down, and you could see them with pulling up, you know, all the stuff for surgery. It was just, you know, just the worst time of life. You can't imagine what that feeling is like. But you know, it all went well and stuff like that. But it's still, you know, I survived and stuff like that. You know, it's great. But at the same time, you're like, you know, what are you gonna do? And you're, you know, when I woke up after surgery, you're laying there and you're like, I can't even get out of bed. I can't. If I want to go over, just sit up. I can't sit up. I can't do anything. I couldn't drink. I couldn't eat. I couldn't laugh. Couldn't cough because there's so much pain. Being, you know, they stapled my stomach back together. This arm's in a cast. You got breathing stuff, help you breathe. You know, you're hooked up to morphine all day long, so you know, just for the pain and stuff. So you know, I was in the hospital for about a month just for recovery and stuff like that. And even just getting up, walking and stuff was like a big step for me. Like, to be able to walk, to get up and walk and use the bathroom was like a victory for me. That was like, okay, you know. And then I finally, you know, after a month being in the hospital, got home. I laid in my own bed for about 6 weeks, and walking to the bathroom, to the fridge, to the bed was like exercise for me. I was tired. Like, I walk to the fridge and come back just to get a drink, and I'll be tired, exhausted. And I remember the first day I actually went outside. I thought to myself, like, I gotta get up, I gotta do something, because I'm not the kind of person that's can just lay in bed all day and let this, you know, take me over. Just going for a walk to me was like doing a workout. Like, I felt like I was making progress and stuff like that. And you know, people came visit you, and they're like, you know, I can see them look at me like I went from 270 like 210. Feeling like you're anorexic is kind of what you felt like, but not even like a normal human being. It felt like less than normal, less than average. Not a good feeling for a bodybuilder. So, finally the doctors tell me, you can work out, but it'll never be the same. So they said you should take 6-9 months off, because of, healing and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, yeah, well, that's not gonna happen. I'm gonna do is lay on my ass for like 9 months. No. I'd say 10 weeks after my accident, I said, I'm gonna go back to the gym and stuff. The first day back, I gotta say, I felt like I was a shell of the person I used to be. What it felt like, kind of worried about people would think. They're looking at you and like, you're half the size you used to be. But I said, I had to overcome that fear and just go in no matter what. I remember going in, I think the first thing I did was arms that first day. And this arm was in a cast for so long. So, this arm had like skin hanging off. My skin was hanging off like, like you're 80 years old. And I remember I think I picked up the 20-pound dumbbells, and I was struggling with a 20-pound dumbbell. You're talking to someone who's after carrying 100-pound dumbbells. So a 20-pound dumbbell, you got a girl next to you probably doing the same thing or more. People looking at you, and being winded from doing some curls. I was seeing stars. I was so beat out, like doing curls and have to lean over on a machine because you're so exhausted from doing 10 reps each arm. Like it was pretty bad. But that was just the day one, and every day after that, it got a little bit better. I said to myself, just don't give up, just keep going. And finally, I started getting, after about 3 months, finally started to feel like, okay, I'm starting to, I remember the first day I did 2 plates on incline bench. I thought I was like, I just won the lottery or something. It's just such a good feeling to be back doing. You can see the progression coming. I'm starting to gain weight. I went from 210, 220, 225. I was okay. We're getting back to some kind of normal weight. My clothes are starting to fit a bit better. The 2XL shirt was like a dress first, and it's getting back to normal. Things are starting to fit. Shirts starting to get tight again. So all going very, very well. Well, my preparation for the show, at least 2 shows, Toronto and Tampa, did things a little different. Definitely had some limitations compared to in the past. Probably wasn't quite as strong as I was in the past. With all the injuries and stuff like that. There was days where you just hurt all over your whole body, and that's it. You still had to go train. You had days when your knees were killing you. I got scar tissue from all the being cut open and ripped open and stuff, and there's days that hurt. Days that I couldn't even stretch my body out because you feel like your stomach's gonna rip open, and so I just had to change up my training a little bit. I still train heavy as I possibly could. There's certain things that I can't change. That I like how I like to train, but I just tweak things a little bit, diet wise. Just figuring out my own body. What foods, how much carbs, all that junk. I figured out what I had to do a little different to come in, 100%. And I think that I didn't take this show for granted. I didn't know how I was going to do it. I still thought to myself, I want to come in like a freak. I want to impress people. But you had some doubts sometimes about not maybe looking as good as you used to, but I said that just made me have to train harder. I gotta train harder than everybody else. I gotta diet harder than everybody else. I gotta do my cardio harder than everybody else, just because of those little limitations I have or whatever, injuries or whatever. So that makes me, it's like every day I got up, I was like, what? I gotta do that extra rep. I gotta do that extra set. I gotta do that extra 10 minutes on the stairs. I gotta make sure I eat all my food on just the right times. Just gotta do everything perfect just to make up for those things that happen to you. So that definitely kept me going, really hard. plan on doing the Toronto Pro. I live in Toronto. You know, it's a hometown show. I was like, sounds a good, you know, good show to do. So you know, everything's going well. The training's got in the best shape I thought of my life. You know, came back from all this stuff, and we get to the show. You know, of course, I got mixed feelings. You know, there were some big names in the show, and you know, my name's on the list, and I know what people are saying. They're like, Frank's doing the show. You know, he's finished. So I wasn't. Nobody was talking about me coming to the show. There was no one saying, "Oh, Frank's doing the show. Watch out, look out for him," whatever. So, no big deal. I kind of like it that way, you know. But I still had my moments like, okay, I look good. Okay, am I gonna be good enough? Am I this or that? But you know, I knew I was looking good because I feel like when I start to suffer and things get really tough, I really feel like that means that you're looking good. Like, because when things are too easy, come too easy, you know, you're not where you're supposed to be. But I can tell you, the last few days before the show, the no water, eating like 20 pounds of potatoes in a couple of days with no water, it's pure suffering, you know what I mean? But I could tell I was ready and stuff. But I remember being backstage, I got my hoodie on, you know, my all covered up, and you're looking around, you see, you know, some big name guys, and you're like, wow, okay, that guy looks good, and you kind of don't know what to think, so you're almost afraid to take off your own shit. But then I was like, you know what, forget it. I did all this work, I did everything I could, this is my moment, so, you know, take it off. I start pumping up. I just noticed everybody's starting to stare at me, and I'm like, what's going on? And but, you know, I felt good. I still wasn't sure. You know, I was like, you know. So I remember backstage, that right before you go on stage, you got that feeling of like, you know, it's been a couple of years. You feel kind of rusty. Don't know what it feels like to be out in front of all these people. You know, and you can't hide anything out on stage. You can everything's out in the open. They're gonna see every part of your body. They're gonna, you know, people are gonna be judging you on just how you look and stuff. You know, tearing you apart, tearing you down, or praising you. So you don't know what's gonna happen. So I remember walking out around that corner, that first stage, and I remember seeing the head judge. I seen the look on his face, like he was shocked. And I said, okay, it's good. It's definitely gonna be a good thing or a real bad thing. You know, but I felt good, and like. I remember I was hitting the shot, and the audience started going crazy, and I was like, I missed that feeling of, you know, that you make you want to even pose harder, because, you know, I've been out stage before and posed, and nobody makes a peep. You know, that's not a good feeling. I turned around to the back, you know, and the whole audience went crazy, and a lot of people were saying I was probably one of the best conditioned guys in the whole show, and I was never known for having a great back. And when I turned around to the back, hitting back shots, everybody was just like, you know, I could hear people going crazy. And I just felt alive again, you know. I was like, I'm back, you know. Still didn't know how I was doing everybody else. So, you know, I'm in the lineup, and I'm calling the first call-outs. I called the big names out. I'm like, okay, yeah, I know they're gonna call those guys out. But all of a sudden, number 7, Frank McGrath, in the first call-out, I was on top of the world. Like, I might as well have won the show in the first call-out. Like, that's how great it felt. And you know, people going crazy. It was like probably one of the best wins I ever had. And then we come back at nighttime, and I said to myself, I just want to make the pose down. I want to be up there on stage fighting for everything, you know what I mean? And I make it. And it was just a great feeling to be up there, you know, with some big name guys, and, you know, hold my own against these guys. You know, even after all this shit, and when people have, you know, forgotten all about you. And I got 4th in Toronto, and the head judge came up to me, told me that I was 1 point away from placing 3rd to qualify for Olympia. And to me, I was like, wow, this is like, you know, almost making it to Olympia. Like, only trained hard for like 4 or 5 months, and almost qualified for Miss Olympia. Like, I mean, it's crazy. People train their whole lives and don't get that kind of stuff. I go back to the gym, I think Monday after the show, and I'm fired up. I'm like, I did every body part in 3 days, cardio, back on my diet, harder than before, you know, doing everything just to get that movement tighter and stuff. And then we get to Tampa, and I see all the people doing the show. It's a lot deeper competition, like a lot of bigger names and stuff. So when you get, oh shit, I got even a bigger field to compete against. And I feel tell myself if I don't place as well, people are gonna think what the Toronto show was just a fluke. Maybe the competitors weren't as good there. So I'm like, okay, it just means I gotta suffer even more. So I think I was better at the Tampa show. I think I even ate more food than I ate 20 pounds of potatoes in 2 days, no water. I mean, it was just every time I was done a meal, it was time to eat another meal. It was torture, But I felt like, okay, things are going good again. This is the way I should feel, you know what I mean? And I knew I was ready. And I remember the same thing, pumping up backstage, but like you got the big name guys now, even more, doing this show, and we get called out on stage, not your hometown place anymore, so people aren't cheering for you as much as your hometown. And anyway, we're calling out the top 5, top 6, and we're calling everybody out, we're calling out the big names. Bang, there I am again, Frank McGraw, first call out. So I'm like, okay, we're back, we're still here. And again, I was fighting for every spot, posing harder than I did last week. Even people down could see it. Like I was giving it my all. Like I knew this is it. This is it right now. This is gonna. Top 6 are there. I'm in here somewhere. I think we got between the nighttime show and the morning show. People were like, some people were talking about the top 3, and they weren't saying I was in it. I'm like, okay, cool. Went back, did everything I needed to do. Pose, eat my food, all kind of stuff. Come back to nighttime. Call top 5. I'm in the top 5. They call out 5th. It's not me. I'm like, whew. 4th. And it's the next guy. And I'm standing there thinking to myself, going, I look to my left. There's one guy on my left. I look to the right. There's one guy on my left. I see there's only 3 guys left. I finally realized to myself that I just qualified for the Mr. Olympia, the biggest competition in the world. And no matter what place I get right now, I just qualified for that. And it's just like, I remember looking at the audience, and the emotions started to get a little too hard to deal with. I held it together, but I got called out in 3rd, and put that medal around my neck, and called out, second, first, and we're on stage, and they say, these 3 gentlemen have just qualified for the Mr. Olympia, and I'm like, wow, this has been my dream since I started, and I'm sure it's everybody's other dream. I don't care if you're starting or, pro, whatever, to step on the stage in Mr. Olympia, which is the biggest stage in bodybuilding, the Super Bowl of bodybuilding, and you just made it. You just made it when people didn't expect it, when doctors are telling you you're not going to make it, it's over, and you just did it like, I'm not saying I didn't have any help and stuff, but I'm the one who had to get up every day. I'm the one who had to eat the food. I'm the one who had to, pick those weights up every day and make the decision to get over it or not get over it. And I don't think there can be any words to describe the feeling that you have for that. So it's like a week later, and it still hasn't really sunk in. People coming up, shaking your hand, telling you congratulations and stuff, and just nothing can replace this feeling. But I said to myself, you know what? Let's just go for it. Like, we'll see what happens. If I give it my all and I don't make it, do well, at least I know I tried. But I can't live with that feeling of not knowing. If I don't try, 20 years from now, I'll go, well, what if? What if I try? If I fail, I fail. If I make it, I make it. But at least I have an answer, and I'll be able to live with that answer. So I went for it. I just gave it my all, and had a lot of limitations, definitely compared to what I had in the past. But I think that all this, going through all this, definitely made me a stronger person. I'm not going to say physically stronger person. I don't think that's what people mean. I think it's a stronger mentally. And in the end, it actually did make me physically stronger too. Just things I had to overcome mentally every day just to get back in the gym and overcome the injuries and seeing the scars every day and stuff like that. And a lot of people talk about this is like the comeback story for me and stuff like that. But a lot of people don't realize that this is just the very first step of the comeback. I mean, yeah, I'm doing the Olympia, and I'm super excited. I'm still going with the mentality that it's a show that I want to go win, and that I'm gonna give it my all and stuff like that. No matter what anybody else believes and stuff like that, I still have to believe in my own mind that any given day anybody can win, no matter what the consequences. And but it's just the first step. Like, this is just the first step to the comeback for me. It's a long journey, and this is just the first few steps I've taken. The hard first few steps, but it's just giving me the confidence and the drive to keep going forward and improving and getting better. I know there's a lot of people there going through similar things I've gone through, or even a lot worse. But I think if you have that thought in your head, you want to do something. For me, I just had to know. Like, I had to try, because if you don't try, you're never gonna know. For the next 20 years, I'm gonna say, man, you know what? What if I had tried? What if I had just tried and see what would happen, see what the outcome would be? So anybody else out there who's going through anything, like, I think that you should just. It's hard for everybody. Don't get me wrong. It's tough. I know it's hard, but you're not gonna know unless you give it your all. And no matter what anybody that doesn't believe you can or not, you're the one that has to believe it. You're the one that has to do the work. So I think you just gotta give it that shot. No matter what happens at the end, at least you'll know where you stand. And I know where I stand, and I'm standing right here, and I'm not going anywhere.